Yo, what's up guys? Today's going to be a little talk about my Mobula 7 setup, what parts I'm using and why I'm using them parts. But first, here's a little edit of what I've been doing this week. And that's it guys, that's the kind of little Mob 7 setup I've got right now. That was the same PIDs and the same rates on both videos. It's exactly the same setup on both videos, and I really wanted to show that because this is what this kind of quad's made for. It's made to be versatile and mainly made to be strong. I needed something that was going to hold out for me. Instead of actually talking, talking for every component, I will talk for every component, but I'll list everything I'm using right now on the screen. And then I'm going to talk for each one, starting with the frame. Why I'm using this frame, it is the whole build is strength. That's all I was looking for. When it came down to it, the performance went out the window. As long as I could still pull up a matty flip and get some good flight times, I wasn't bothered. With the Mob Lite 7, people were getting up to 10 minutes flight time. Personally, I wasn't getting that. I think I was getting about 6 minutes flight time, freestyling the way I was. But I was thinking if I had just a little bit of weight and managed to pull off 3 minutes flight time with this setup and have it much stronger, that's all I needed. And it turned out with a replacement battery and a new pigtail, I was managing to pull off about 8 minutes flight time with this new setup. Freestyling the way I do, that's indoors only. Outdoors is a different story because I'm raising my camera angle a bit, so my flight times decrease a hell of a lot, especially small environments to big environments. But again, that's a V3 frame and why I used it. There's nothing wrong with a V2 frame unless it's cold. If you're in cold weather, it's absolutely useless. It will just be broken within seconds. If you're just flying, that's gone down the back of there. If you're just flying indoors all the time, then it's a great frame. If it's actually a warm room, oh, should I do it with this one? I don't know how warm it is in here, and I'd hate to do this on camera, so I haven't advertised this when they first got it. It was a daft idea, but they did. So in warm weather, these V2 frames can literally be crushed up. Oh my god, I hope this works. And then unfolded, and there you go. Unfolded, and they don't break in the heat. If it's cold, and I tried doing that, it would have been in 6 pieces within a second. I'm so glad that worked on camera. But they will bend back into position. So there's nothing wrong with the V2 frame, it has to be warm, otherwise it's absolutely useless. But the V3 frame is, again, it's great all around, it's weighty, it's a bit more draggy in the air. I talked a long time about that V3 frame, so I'm going to shorten it out with a bit more things. Canopy choice, I'm currently using the Crux 3, just because I can get a better camera size in there. And it's light, but I would suggest using the Lava X1 for strength. There's not much difference, the Lava X1's just much stronger. Using the Calyx Ant, really good camera, light, and it's the camera size I want. There's nothing wrong with the Runcam Nano 3, but it's just a bit weaker. So I personally went for the Calyx Ant. 40mm bi-blades, something I found a new appreciation for. We've always used bi-blades when we used to fly kind of 4 blades like that, and one would snap and we used to turn into bi-blades. So I knew how to fly them, I knew how they flew, but with what we can do with Loopz these days and the weight ratio, I found a new love for them. Flight times are better, performance isn't really sacrificed much, but you get more flight time and you get a bit more speed, if that makes sense. I can throw it around backwards more and stuff. So bi-blade's my choice there. And then down to the motors and the flight controller. First, the motors, I'm using the 802 19 kV motors. For my style of flying, I don't see a massive difference in the 25 kV and the 19 kV motors. I know you do get more with the 25, I can definitely throw it further, but I'm taking a sacrifice on my flight times, and it's always a bit more at the bottom of the stick. You could probably tune these things and make it better, but I just don't see the need to, really. I guess if you're racing, 25k would be the way, but for me, 19's holding me very happily, so I don't need to change them there. So again, 19 kV. Personal opinion, guys, you all make your own opinion. We've got great motors out there, so you choose what's best for you. And then down to the flight controller, I'm currently using, I think it's the Crazy Bee F4 Lite. I might be wrong with the name there, I'm getting so mixed up these days. It's the one that came with the Mobula 7. It's a great flight controller. Personally, again, opinion, I prefer to keep the plugs on it. When it comes to Loopz, they're more like toys to me. I don't really like to have to get the soldering out all the time. I don't like to have to get the soldering iron out all the time to fix them. I'd rather just be plug and play. But again, it's just my opinion. I do a lot of soldering with my 5 inches and my 3 inches and everything else. I just like these to be a bit simpler. But again, it's just choice. Apart from that, the flight controller is great. I love the VTX and the RX built in together these days, and I think that's what's really changing how Loopz can fly. And yeah, I think I've pretty much covered everything there. I've gone on to, I don't know if I mentioned about the LiPo. I'm on the 650 1S LiPo and the 75mm frame for flight time. You can get loads of flight time. I can throw it about better than a kind of 65mm. And again, it's just flight time. The flight time is much better. Oh yeah, and you can't really get a frame this strong in a 65mm format. That's a shame. If you could, I might move into 65, but I would never know until I've tried a frame, you know, that's good enough to try in 65. And that's it. As far as the build goes, that's it, guys. Again, when I built this, performance went out the window. I was looking at making a strong Loop, something I didn't have to keep repairing all the time, and I've achieved that. Could you make something with more performance? Yes, but I think you'd be sacrificing what I feel like I've achieved here. It's done so much ripping this week, and the only thing I've broken was the camera, and I think that was, well, I know that's because of the Crew X3 canopy. Live X has much more protection on it. So yeah, as far as the build, that's it. I'm going to move on to Betaflight now and talk about how I set this Loop up and how I set most of my Loops up. Very basic stuff. I'm more of Loops, just going to show my rates really there, and then we'll go from there. So, bomb. So here we are, guys, over in Betaflight. I'll just ignore the flight controller being upside down at the moment. This is for a different build. I don't know why I've done it like this. So over to the config tab, just to make sure that air mode is permanently turned on. I only fly in acro. I don't ever use any of the modes, so I have air mode permanently turned on. Over to the rates now, just to turn these up a little bit. This is kind of the rates I've set for my Loopz to fly indoors and outdoors. If I was flying outdoors more, I probably would have something a bit higher than this. But this seems to work perfectly for going in and out on the 75 anyway. Next onto the receiver tab. I've just got to do this on all my Loops. I've just got to set this stupid thing here to default to get it to work on FR Sky radios. I don't know if anyone else has that problem, but it's just me. Over the modes tab now. I only use 2 things. I use my my arm and flip over. I don't bother with anything else because I just don't need it with my style of flying. I wish I stuck with stab, but I just stuck to acro and that was it. Then over to the OSD tab, because I record DVR all the time, I don't want anything else on the screen, so I make sure I've just got my main battery voltage. This one's been set to something else at the moment, so I'm just switching it back over again. And after that, it's just it's pretty much done. That's how I pretty much set every Loop up, by the fly or builds as well. And there we go, guys. That's all the information I could think about giving for the my kind of current Mobula 7 setup. I hope that was everything you needed to know. If you've got any questions, just leave them down below and I'll do my best I can to answer you. So thank you very much for checking it out, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.